Daugherty. I have my law firm Daugherty Law LLC here in Colorado Springs, and I get lots of questions every day, and I want to answer some of them for you. Today's most common question is, what the heck are mandatory disclosures, and do I really have to do them? Okay, so if you're in a divorce or even a custody, you are subject to Rule 16.2, which is the procedural rule that requires you to exchange all of your financial information with your soon-to-be ex-spouse. We're getting rid of them. So on the really basic level, you start with this sworn financial statement, which I'm sure I have videos on somewhere down there. And then that's like this big long form. You fill it out the best you can, as complete as you can. If you're in a big hot and heavy divorce, picture an opposing attorney bringing it in front of you and saying, "Do you really pay $25 a month on groceries?" And you'll say, "No, I don't. Oh, you caught me." Aside from that, most people settle in a very civil way, and if you make a mistake, you can always amend your sworn financial statement. So it's more important to do it and do your best than to never do it because you're afraid of not doing it correctly. So I can definitely send you more resources on that. In order to supplement that, you're also required to produce things like old tax returns for the past 3 years, all of your business documents for the past 3 years, all of your bank statements, personal statements, stocks, bonds, retirements, even stuff like inheritance that you think is yours. And why should my spouse even know about it? Because it's from my grandfather. Even that sort of thing has to be disclosed, even though you're going to ask the court to not share any of it with your spouse. They still have to know about it. Other things that you have to disclose, if you have your own business, that can be really tricky because you have to share a sworn statement as to what your income is. And if it's a bigger business, more likely than not, you're going to be sharing bank statements, some of the QuickBook printouts. So you want to see expenses and revenue. And if things really get hot and heavy, you'll be matching up revenue and expenses and dissecting those to figure out what expenses are really part of the business. So have all of that ready and cleaned up. If you have the chance to do that before you get divorced, have your business cleaned up, all on paper, good as gold. That's important. For real estate documents, so mortgage, what your house is worth, if you were able to get an appraisal around the time you were married of some house that you already owned, we'll need that. Even for houses that you owned before you got married, we need that. We need all statements of debt. So like credit card statements, I go for 3 years if you can get them. Loan statements, personal loan statements, mortgages, car loans, everything, all of that. And then one of the big things we need is statements of employee benefits. So like the brochure from the HR person that you threw away the day you were hired, go dig that up. That could be useful. We also need all your pay stubs usually. So sometimes you'll get like a year-end printout of everything, and then each pay stub, we need that too, because usually it'll say, year to date for health savings account and year to date for retirement and like all of these things. We also you'll want to show if you've taken a loan against your 401k or whatever. And then any income you get from other sources. So if you have rental property, you need to be able to show the receipts that you get from that rental property. And it would be wise to have the information on how much that property is worth and how much you spend taking care of that property. Other things that you might want to show receipts for would be like children's tuition in school, or children's expenses for soccer practice, or new clothes, or whatever, after school care, all of those sorts of things. And then any other document that you can possibly think of that would show how much money you have, where your money is, property you have, or what your item is worth. So one really common one is to use Kelley Blue Book to get a printout and figure out what each vehicle you have is worth. And so your motivation for all of these things, other than it's straight up required by the law, is that if your spouse finds out that you didn't provide all the information, then they have 5 years after your divorce to come back and relitigate everything and try to get more money from you. So good reason to try to follow the law, try to think it through clearly, and make sure you're giving the court everything they need. And that way you can get over and done with and get out of there and start your new life. Thanks.